Chålofa! What's up? This is the Islanders View podcast with the Backyard Convos. We're experiencing the backyard conversation of Islanders. It's your boy JC, B.
How's it?
And the Uso Jr.
How's it, everybody?
We're just talking about worldviews, life experiences, culture, sports. You know, we're just chilling, kicking back, speaking our minds. Yeah, you're about to go into a mind of an Islander right about now. Chålofa, everybody. Welcome to the Islanders View podcast with the Backyard Convos.
Wow.
You got your boy JC, B, Junior.
What's going on, y'all?
Welcome to session number 23.
23.
Yeah, we keep moving, guys. We keep moving. Let's keep it going.
Michael Jordan now.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan status.
Welcome to the sesh. If it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the love. Let's get session number 23 going. We have a good one for you guys. Yeah. We got a special guest here. You know, I'm going to go ahead and play a video. It's going to be a perfect entrance for this guy.
All right.
What's up, Joe? Welcome to the show. Hey, it's our boy Joe Hybrid Duarte, along with last minute addition. He came clutch, Vince Salvador, professional MMA trainer. Yeah, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, man?
Just chilling. How are you guys doing?
Cruising.
How you doing, Vince? I know you're almost late to the show.
Man. Yeah, man, it's a crazy transition, running back and forth. I don't know how to work on the computers and stuff like that. Man, I'm bad at stuff like that.
Awesome, bro. Hey, we're gonna get session number 23 going. You guys know how we start every sesh with the beverage highlight. Today, for this session, it's pretty much a bourbon night. We have different types of bourbon. I don't know what Vince got. I saw him drinking a Bud Light earlier.
No,
Let's see what kind of bourbon he got. Stag Light. Oh man! Hey, what do we got, B?
Hey, that's all good forward, bro.
Tonight we're drinking a Texas bourbon. It's called Bullet. And
Bullet.
Yeah, it's
number one with the bullet.
It was barreled in 2019.
Wow.
2019.
Yeah, it says you should have a taste of vanilla, char, dried apricot with a lingering of oak in the back.
Wow. That sounds like my toothbrush.
Why you laughing? Why you laughing, D? Why you laughing, Joe?
I was gonna be drinking some cava over there.
Hey, what do you
need some cava?
What are you sipping on, Joe?
I got me some Stag, and if you guys can see that, it's the good shit right there.
I was trying to get some, but my loan got denied.
How much for a bottle of Stag?
Bro, dude, check this out. I went to the liquor store because, trying to do my boy a solid. He wanted to drink Stag, so I wanted to do the same thing. The guy's like, hey, man. I go, hey, y'all got Stag here? He's like, man, you got to get in line, dude. People on waiting list. I was like, what? I guess we're going to have, hey, Joe bougie, man. Why you being bougie, Joe?
only the good stuff. The good stuff.
The good stuff. All right, man. Hey, cheers to session number 23. Raise your glass.
Cheers, Chålofa.
To all our listeners and viewers, if you guys have a drink in your hand, raise it. Hey, Chålofa to session number 23. One love and God bless you guys.
Bless.
Oh, man.
Yeah, boy.
So how was that bullet?
Tastes like Texas tea.
Texas. Man. How's your Stag Light there, Vince?
Oh man, less calories, most filling. Whatever they say. However that saying goes, yeah. Trying to watch watching the figure.
Hey, we're gonna do some shout outs real quick. We got some people logging in already wanting to say what's up. First person on was Ben Alcantara. What's up, cuz?
Hey, what's up?
Ben?
What's going on, Ben?
Man.
Yeah. Oh man, the family's
Brother.
here. Kevin Guillermo's on.
What's up, Kev?
Woo!
Yeah, Kev.
Right, for real.
I feel like we're
Let's
at a
see.
kickback again. In high
I
school.
know.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah.
Just virtually. Virtual kickback.
Kevin's mom just dropped him off.
Hey, say, what's up, boys? That's my boy Yogi. What's up, Yog?
Hey, what's up, Yogi?
There's B. B saying, what's up? Hey.
Oh,
good.
Noe. What's up, Noe?
What's up, brother?
Oh, yo.
My sister's on. Damn, everybody's on today.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, what's going on?
Right
All right, so we know
Welcome to the
special
convo.
guest, Joe Duarte, Joe Hybrid Duarte. How's life, bro?
It's been good, man. Just, business, family, and riding my bike when I get a chance, and I miss the days Vince and I were in the gym every day, putting work in. And it's good to see him still doing that today and leading these young Lions to the championship. So I feel good about seeing that progress. And, yeah, man, it's been an awesome journey.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we wanted to bring Vince on the show. Hit him up last minute. My bad, bro.
No way, man.
Just because I know, not only did we go to high school together, especially, you two, you guys going to San Diego. I don't know were you guys both in San Diego at the same time, or did one
No.
go first and meet up there?
It's a really long story.
Really long story. Well, anyways,
The best place to do it right
right?
now.
They made it to
Short
San
one.
Diego. However, they made it together. And I know Vince has been by Joe's side since the beginning. I seen a bunch of videos with him there, so that was awesome. And we wanted to have you on so we can get a trainer's perspective on stuff. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So my first question to you, Joe, is what actually inspired you to start doing MMA?
Dude, honestly, man, like I gotta watch 1998 November. Obviously, Vince fought. And him coming from our school, right? At first, like my first fight to ever watch was Big John Calvo when he fought in '97.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was like, I was totally sucked in at that point. I was like, this is cool. And then Vince turned pro in high school, fought and beat the shit out of the guy. And I realized this is actually something we can do. You know what I'm saying? Because for the big guys, it was the older guys. It was kind of seeing that like maybe I'll do it when I'm a little older. But then I had that inspiration, when I saw Vince kind of fucking beat up a grown man when he was in high school. and I literally kind of bought in. I was like, dude, this is badass, right? Like I ain't got no money to go to college, so maybe we could do this, right? And at the time, no one was really making a living doing it. So I just had this inspiration, man. And I was a lot more mouth than I could back it up back then, but you just gotta train it up, and then the skills catch up to the mouth.
That's good.
You gotta watch out.
Did he have a lot of mouth back then, Vince?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, no, it was. We were young, we were young, and
Yeah.
It's part of that part of being a kid. But
oh yeah, definitely.
He definitely got the skills to back it up, though,
Oh yeah,
and I knew from an early age that he had the ability to do that. Like he's a supreme athlete. You play football with him.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter the sport. He could be a good swimmer, whatever. And you can't even swim, so whatever sport it is. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good athlete and he's smart. So you put those two things together, it's really easy to make somebody like a world level competitor.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
good.
Hey Joe, when did you and Vince like link up when you went into like the MMA, and how was that relationship once y'all linked back up?
Dude, Vince was kind of at our, he was at our school, and he was kind of, obviously the guy. We got a group of friends, and he was pro, right? In high school, when you're a pro fighter on the island, that's badass, right? And so like everyone wants to hang out with you, and so we were cool. We kicked it back then. We had some crazy friends like my boy Lyle Chaco, John Shea, and Charles Rapadas, and we go down to, and I feel bad because I would like talk a lot, and then the older guys back in the day would be like, dude, that kid has a big mouth, and whatever, that shit about it. But, back then it was like the late '90s, and that's when we linked up and basically started this kind of journey towards what ended up driving us out here.
Yeah.
The late '90s was when UFC was bare knuckle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like back when it was no holds bar.
Yeah, when it was like no rules and you can
no
pull,
weight level.
Pull hair, and punch the ball.
You can
Fight a 300-pounder.
Yeah.
There's no weight level, right?
What's the Asian dude's name that started punching the dude's ball or got his balls punched in?
It's Keith Hackney and Joe
Keith Hackney.
Keith Hackney.
It was gnarly, dude.
So where did the training actually start in San Diego?
Dude, you know what? It was crazy. Like I was bringing Vince out, and Vince was coming out to train me for fight camps and work with other guys. We brought him out, and he worked with some of the best fighters in the world, like Jacare Souza, Saulo Ribeiro, like Shanji Ribeiro. Like there was a time when he would come out and help me all the time. I want him to come out all the time, but there was one particular time, and I think that was really the time that was like we were trying to get him out here. I was, for my own selfish reasons, I wanted him out here all the time, and I basically, we had this amazing group of training partners, Andre Galval, all these guys that would get ready for dream fights. Diego Sanchez, all these guys that were getting ready, Morongo, and Saulo had talked to me about, hey, like, I'm like, I know a guy, the best striking coach. I'm like, we got to bring him out. We got to bring him out. So we brought him out, and it just changed from there. Like everyone just kind of saw his skills, what he brought to the table. And I've been telling people, because I've been training with Vince on and off this entire time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've trained with guys, really well-known coaches, and I still, at the end of the day, I say Vince is the best coach I've ever had, and I've trained under some of the, in terms of understanding the sport as a whole. There's guys that are really good at specialties, but to understand the game as a whole, it's real science, and not everyone's cut out for that. Not everyone can do that. I can't do that, and I just knew, like, I work with different guys, right, when it comes to like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or whatever. But we had this amazing team we wanted to put together, and I knew that Vince would be a great guy to captain the ship, and yeah, man, it was just like the stars aligned. He came out, everyone saw his talent, and it was from there on. It was game on. And then he came to the arena when we first started, because it was just fighter gym. And basically he runs that whole show now over there. And so it's been amazing seeing guys see what I saw all those years, what I was seeing all those years. And I still to this day stand and I tell guys that, I've worked under a lot of guys, but Vince is always my coach.
Especially coming from Guam, a little island, right?
That's awesome.
That's right.
Hey, Joe and Vince, I know you said like you guys talked a lot back in the day, but back in the day, like talking wasn't really too big, right? A lot of I know watching the fights back then, everybody didn't talk too much. But nowadays, that seems like it's a big part of it. Like talking, like they have those interviews. Yeah. People is talking more now. Do you guys feel like you would fit in more better now than as back in the day?
Well, I think a big part of it is I used to talk a lot of shit. And,
that's what they do a lot nowadays, though, right? A lot of the fighters nowadays talk a lot of shit. I mean, you look at all the
I just
fighters.
didn't have the skill set back then, right?
Yeah.
So Vince had to get me up to where my where my skill set to my mouth.
in a way, a lot of the things I learned was through that, because when he talked shit, the older guys would beat my ass. So I had to learn how to defend myself. So
there you go. You got better, right? It helped you get better.
So just teaching him how I defend that.
There you go.
Hey, so Vince, how was that feeling when because you were on Guam when Joe called you?
No,
to
I
come
was
out?
already teaching somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
I was training fighters in another state, but
Oh, okay.
not to the level that I'm doing it here. Kind of just like I had a small gym and a couple guys, but it was just part time.
Yeah.
No, when I came out here, I wasn't really serious. I was 225 pounds. Remember, Joe? I wasn't really training myself. I was kind of like, it was kind of like a period in my life where I'm like, whatever, I'm not really training good fighters, and I only wanted to train Joe. So when I had the chance to come out here, it just threw me into the world where everybody's world class. So you have to, if you don't know your stuff, like you won't last, So I felt like I didn't have to prove anything. I just got to show you what I do, and if you like it, then you like it. If not, if you think I'm not world class, then that's you. But there's always been a level of understanding that I don't know where it comes from, but I just understand two people trying to hit each other. Like I don't know the science behind it, but I just always knew it since we were young. A lot of fighting is instinctual. Like that's why we all throw hands. We don't kick right away. When you're a kid, when the first thing someone grabs something out of your hand, you throw your hands. So it's instinctual, and if you listen to that and you go off of that and you go off of what the body can do, then fighting isn't really that complex. It's just a sport. It's competition.
Yeah.
And I always would, when I would tell people about, just how good Vince was, I'd always compare it. I think my saying is like this, right? Like I always admire people that do things that I can't. And he had this like really insight in terms of it just came natural. And I always said, when Beethoven sat down at a piano, it just looked different to him, right? Yeah. And certain people that have certain gifts, when they do something that their gifts align, when those things meet together, you have this amazing talent. And that talent, I wanted to really, not just for my own personal, selfishness, I wanted to share that talent with other guys. And I wanted to, I wanted people to experience like what I saw, see what I saw, and be able to get Vince in front of other world-class athletes and get that ball rolling, because I knew that skill set was in there. Talent was in there, and that was significant difference. It's from a fighter perspective, you'll have a lot of guys that call themselves coaches, and they understand maybe a part of fighting, a little parts of it. Maybe they're really skilled at a certain thing. But very, very, very far and few between. You'll find guys that can take the worst athlete and make them good, make them better. And that's really how you would judge the level of a coach. And it's the coach having a deeper understanding of not just taking an athlete and making him a good fighter, but taking a bunch of different guys' skill sets and learning to make them better off their personal skill sets. You'll see a lot of coaches that'll kind of teach the same shit to one guy, they'll teach the other. And we see that all the time. And the problem with that is that, we saw that with Diego, right? Like guys try to make him technical and he's not a technical fighter. You take the dog out of him. Like the dog is why he's a good fighter. You take that away from him and you just took away the guy's greatest trait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about being coaches, being good coaches, and then them understanding where your strong points are and then fine tuning those things.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you said that, because I mean, you kind of look at basketball, right? Look at the NBA. Look at Michael Jordan. He was a the greatest athlete, right? We can argue that, but he's the greatest basketball player, right? But he can't pick talent to save his life. You know what I mean?
No.
He can't run a team. Kind of that same concept. Like you can be a great athlete,
I mean,
but doesn't mean it transitions to being a coach.
Yeah, it's the ego.
Steve Kerr's a better coach.
Huh? What's that?
Steve Kerr's a better coach than Michael Jordan.
Right.
Man, I can guard Steve Kerr.
So I want to direct this question to Vince. You're a trainer right now, right, Vince?
Yeah, coach, trainer.
Coach, trainer.
However you
So-
call it, yeah.
How do you see the mindset of fighters now and fighters back then?
The funny thing is, Joe has always been ahead of his time, man. Like the whole social media thing with like guys trying to promote themselves. He was doing that shit since MySpace. Like he was the first fighter that actually. He was the first fighter that saw the importance of it. And the fact that he put his name out there and got on the Ultimate Fighter, that's a testament to that. That's what guys are doing now. Like everyone. That's the process. You get famous, get famous, and go from there. He was doing that back then. He taught guys that are in the UFC how to do that before they got to learn how to do that from the UFC. So he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was also ahead of his time when it came to training. We come from stupid training. We come from like just do it till you can't do it anymore, and till your body falls apart and your brain is gone. We come from that, and even in the past, like he knew already that that's not the way it works. We didn't learn it from anybody. We used to do, like, we don't have any degree in strength and conditioning, but every fight that I've cornered him in, he's never gotten tired. We just did it in the way that we knew worked. So and he was advanced with that. Like he knew you had to get the heart rate monitor, you have to do this and da-da-da. And these are what things guys are doing now. And he was doing this, 12 years ago. So the mindset is different. The mindset is different because it was kill or be killed back then. Back then it wasn't a sport. It wasn't competition. It was no holds barred, like Joe said. Yeah. No holds barred is to the death. Like I'm gonna kill you or you're gonna kill me. Right. Now it's not like that. Now these kids been doing this since 5 years old, so they don't see it like that. They see it like wrestling. They see it like, if I do good at this, I can get $1 million. I can be rich. Right. I could be Conor McGregor. I could be whoever. So now they know that you got to get the skills before you get anything else. And they're starting young, so they have a head start. And now the mindset is, I just got to win, whether it's exciting or not. I just know this. I know the sport from 5 years old, so they know how to win. That's why there's guys that you can, that are not exciting, but they just know the sport. But back in the day, it was, if I lose, I can't even show back up to my high school. You know what I mean? I gotta go to FB.
Oh, that's what I gotta go to.
Your dad smacked your head at the end of the fight.
We're about to get a bunch of FD boys.
My coach literally said that first fight that Joe's talking about. He said, if you lose, you're gonna fight me in the parking lot.
Oh wow!
I don't want to fight that guy. I'd rather fight this guy and win this guy. So
I better win this one. I'd rather just end it here.
That sounds like what my dad would say.
Nice. If you're just joining us, welcome to session number 23. Again, please subscribe, comment down below, like the video, share the love. We're here with our special guests, Joe Duarte and Vince Salvador, professional MMA trainer.
Thank you guys.
Kind of going back to going back to what Vince brought up. I'm only bringing it up because it's weird that you said the mentality back then is different from the mentality now as far as training goes, because that I don't know if you guys know, but I'm still in the military. I'm still in the Army, so even in that aspect, that's also changing. Being part of the master fitness, being a master fitness instructor, I saw that change. Like the Army, Joe, you were in, that with the Army, it used to be like, just keep running. Every day you're running, run. They don't understand there's other types of workouts. Like there's HIIT training, there's strength training. They just want you to run and keep running, and that's the reason why like the number one injury in the Army was knee issues, right? People always had knee issues.
I thought it was marriage.
Oh, that's after. But yeah, so it's kind of weird saying that too, man.
Divorce rates dropped to like 60% in the military. It's on an all-time low.
But yeah, I just found that interesting that that's also in the fighting scene or training scene with MMA. In general, right?
In general,
yeah.
People are getting like kids are soft nowadays.
Yeah,
we grew up punching each other in the face and still had to fucking be cousins. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You're right. I mean, that's funny because our last session we were talking about that. We're kind of talking about how people are kind of everyone gets a trophy nowadays.
We raise our kids different. That's what we've been through.
But let's hit some shout outs here. Will came on. Will said, "What's up, fellas?"
So Will?
Oh, what's up, Will? Big Will.
Pretty Will.
Big Will.
Hey, no, Vince knocked out the grown man in the first doogie.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man.
I've been knocking out grown men since I was like 14 years old.
All right.
No, all my mom's boyfriends.
Oh, that's funny, man.
That's right.
I was like 8-0 at 14 years old.
8-0.
Undefeated.
Oh man. Hey, so Joe, how was that? I wanted to know what was that feeling like? The very first time the cage closed and the pin dropped for you.
Oh man, I tell you, you start to think to yourself at that point, like, I think it's like that with everything, right? Because I think human instinct, we have fight or flight, right? I remember walking to the cage, and I look at Charlie Kohler, and Charlie Kohler says to me, I said, "Man, I'm feeling a little nervous," and he goes, "You can be nervous or not be nervous. Right now, you're gonna fight, so it doesn't really matter."
Right now, you're gonna fight.
Yeah, words of wisdom right there.
He comes from an old school mentality of the game plan is make a fist and punch him in the face, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the OG guys, and I think that it set with me because being around guys like Vince and then Ted Vita and Mikey Joa and John Calvo, all the great fighters, the pioneers from the island. It's like that's kind of how you grew up. Like, dude, I'm scared right now, but like I gotta fight. Like, there's people in the crowd. I'm about to get in the cage, and then I think what it is, it's like this anxiety and this like hype, and then you get in there, and I remember stepping and feeling the soft canvas, and then the calmness that just settled in of like everything that we did to get ready up until this point. And I'll to be honest, that feeling never changes, right?
Yeah.
Your first fight or your 20th fight it doesn't ever change. It is what it is. And that feeling right there is, I think, where you start to separate and you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
You learn, like, I'm about to fight another man who I'm not like gonna cold clock on the street. Like, I'm gonna fight this guy who's trying to knock me out too.
Who's trained for it,
Who's trained
well,
for it.
Yeah.
The reality is that I have all these people, and if it's televised, you got all these people, but all of that doesn't matter. You kind of have like a calmness, and then they bring you together in the cage. They touch gloves, and I think that right then and there is when you start to like, okay, now it's game time, right? Like everything, all the anticipation. I think the anticipation of the fight is worse than the fight itself, right? Because in terms of adrenaline and nerves, because once the fight starts, it's like your kind of training takes over and things like that. But it's all the what ifs. And when you get cracked or you crack him that first time and blood, you taste blood, it just starts to change. Like you start to mentally, you're like, okay, I remember this one exact feeling. So when I fought George Urgell in Vegas, I remember being completely fine when we got there. We got to Vegas, I got completely fine. And I remember we walked in, we're looking at billboards and we walk inside, right? Vince and I walk inside the elevator, and there's posters all in the elevator and the casino and stuff. And I wasn't on, they didn't put me on the poster. My name was there, but Vince was like, "Fuck you, you're gonna knock."
They didn't get the picture from MySpace, bro.
I was thinking to myself, like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I didn't even say what Vince said. It's like, we're gonna have to get on, like, you're gonna fuck this guy up and we're gonna get on a poster. And I think that kind of like, that was like, okay, like, it's game time. So we were there the whole week, and I remember the day of the fight, I woke up and I had all this adrenaline. And I had all this adrenaline because you start to get closer to that event and you start to go, dude, I'm about to fight a guy I used to watch on television, right? Like, I used to watch this guy fight on TV. This guy was like been fighting way longer than me. He was like a 3rd-degree black belt when I fought him. And like, I'm about to go in there. And you start to think to yourself, like, I got to really go in there and fight, because, like, I have all these damn people coming to watch me, whether they're flying in or they're coming or they're watching on television. And you start to go through this process. And I remember going through the mental process there. And I was just, there's all this unknown, right? Like, I'm fighting this guy who's been on a big stage, like, my entire fight career, he's been fighting at the highest level. And I remember when Vince and we all walked out to the cage, and I got in that night, and I looked around and I go, dude, like, I'm fucking main eventing in Vegas. Like, this is crazy. And I'm looking across and I'm saying, I'm fighting this guy that I was watching on television. And the fight starts, right? And this is the interesting part, is I start cracking this guy with combinations Vince and I have been working on the past 3 months, dude. Like, I'm cracking this guy at will. His face starts to bleed. He's like, he's swinging and he's missing, and I'm like moving around, like, and then he's trying to take me down. I'm stuffing all his takedowns, and in my head, in about the middle of the round, I think to myself, is this guy fucking possuming? Because I thought it was going to be way more difficult than this is. And I specifically remember he shot in. I cracked him with a really hard right, like the last minute, and just blood was just coming down his face. And I remember he shot in to take me down. I stuffed it, then I took him down. And I got up, and it was the first time in my life that I think I felt like I'm at a world-class level. Like, it was the first time that I believed everything that Vince has been telling me all these years, Like,
Nice.
I went back to the corner, and Vince goes, how do you feel? And I said to him, this guy's in it. And I thought to myself, like, this guy's not on my level. Like, I'm,
This guy's panty.
dude, that's it, right? But I think coming from an island, there's always this question, because we've always thought that fighters in the States or fighters, in the mainland or from other countries were up here.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were just, in my mind, I was just some tough kid from the island trying to make my way.
Yeah.
And I felt right there, like, I'm way better than I think I am. And this kind of showed me that.
That's awesome.
That I think is a turning point in my life that I still apply today in business, right? Like,
that's awesome right there.
You realize that you're capable of so much more.
Yeah.
Honestly, what's crazy is Vince been telling me this whole time, and
I knew it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
I've trained other fighters. I've trained other world champions, and even till this day, I tell people that I learned a lot from training Joe, just from the seeing an athlete dissect something and do it themselves, and watch how he developed himself.
Yeah.
Not just with skills like in MMA or boxing or kickboxing, but the mindset he had about learning everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was always advanced with that stuff.
Oh,
that's nice.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick. I mean, today is what, May 14th, right?
Yeah.
It's May 14th.
The month of May is Asian American Pacific Islander month, where we celebrate our Asian American Pacific Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give a quick shout out to some of my friends, John Chrysostomo, who fought out of Guam back in '99.
Oh, I know John. I grew up.
Yeah. So Fale Nico Vitale, who fought out of Hawaii.
Yeah. I played basketball with Nico.
So you know what I'm talking about? Like we have these great Asian American Pacific Islanders, these fighters back in the day. You know, the ones we know, Baby Joe Taitano, Joe Duarte, Vince Taimanglo, I'm sorry. And Vince Salvador. So these are all you guys great Asian American Pacific Islanders. Who are the new breed? Who's the up and comers coming up right now that you guys know that we need to watch out for?
From Guam or
any island? Guam, Samoa.
Islands. I mean, I don't really know too many of the other islands. I know from Guam there's a couple guys. There's a couple guys in the UFC right now.
Okay.
Trevin 5-star Jones is a
Trev 5-star too. Shout out.
Oh yeah. I'm following him on Instagram. Yep.
Nice.
He's got
who else should we look out
best
for?
of both worlds. He's really good. I've seen him. There's other guys that are not really known, like that I've trained. Like Zach Norio is going to be somebody to look out for.
Okay.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch of guys from Guam that are coming up. Kyle Regis, like if you look him up, he's fought some of the best guys, and he's just tough as hell, and really moving up on the ranks, and only fights tough guys. So. Like there's a lot of guys, being from Guam, it's like almost kind of like you have to be tough. There's no way, like you can't grow up not tough.
Yeah, that's right.
You're gonna fight whether you're a nerd or you're a jock or you're the ruler of the school. You're gonna fight.
Yeah,
it's just part of it.
The ruler.
Yeah. When I went to Guam, I was in 7th grade, 8th grade when I first moved to Guam. My first Chamorro words I learned was Malanga Mumu.
Oh, they're trying to get you into trouble.
Yeah,
exactly.
They already wanted to fight me already.
Yeah, mine was Kufa Kefe.
Yeah. That's just so funny. For me, I'm so excited to see the Islanders, coming up, fighting. Every time I see a new Islander fighting, I get excited for that. So.
Same here. I mean, it started with me with like watching guys from the island, like Anton, BJ Penn, like it gives you
Penn,
it makes you know that we're the same. We can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. There's nothing. Like we grew up the same. We were Islanders, and I believe that because we're Islanders, there's a special thing that we got that a lot of guys don't have, and it's that coconut head.
That's right. That's right. I knew you was going there too.
No, but it's true. It's something genetic.
True.
It's something genetic. Like look at Mark Hunt. Like Ray Sefo, you can punch him in the face 50 times.
Ray Sefo,
So
it's Max Holloway. Oh.
Yeah. It's part, and I don't think of it as something like. I think we're genetically built that way. Look at how we're all built.
That's
short, stocky, strong, and you could be like I play basketball. Samoans are 5'6", 280, and are faster than everybody on the court.
Yeah, right.
Like, how is that? This motherfucker plays slippers too, bro.
To bring that up, what about Joe's interview where he's like, "I just want everyone to know I'm from Guam."
Yeah,
and that just means that I'm really, really, really ridiculously strong.
I have a story. I didn't know I was strong until I came here. Seriously.
That's right.
That's awesome, dude.
I train with Joe, Mikey Joe, who's skinny but still strong as fuck. Like everybody's strong. So like you don't notice that that's a thing. And you come out here and roll guys and you're like, I'm strong? I thought I was the weakest one out of all those guys.
It's picking up all the pig slop, bro. Go feed the pigs this summer, bro.
I know in Hawaii, I'm just another Samoan, but when I moved to Idaho, man, I was like the king of the ring in Idaho.
The Rock, huh? They're like, oh shit, it's the Rock.
Oh shit, look at this guy. 5th grade, already 6'2".
The boulder.
So I asked Joe about the feeling that he gets when they close the ring. How about your feeling, Vince, when you're like I said in the beginning of the show, we grew up together. You guys are boys. You guys are pretty much brothers. What is that feeling as a coach as a trainer, knowing that you guys put in all that hard work, and you're about to see your boy put it in? How's that feel? What was that feeling like?
It's different with Joe because for that reason, we've known each other for so long. I've known him since he was a kid, since he had a big ass mouth. So, like, I know him.
It's bigger than his coconut head.
I gotta hear some of the things he said.
But I'm saying I've known him for a long time, so I know when he needs to stop, when he needs to push, when he needs not to push, and that's the hard part about training a lot of people because everybody's different, So like training Joe, like I always tell you, it was easy, man. Like I've known him forever. I know where he needs to go. Like I know if he needs to do this or that, if he needs to rep this or rep that, and also he'll tell me, I want to do more of this. I want to do more of that, and that also taught me how to be a better coach. Like being a coach is just all it is a combination of all the years you've been training people, and at the end of that, your experience becomes your knowledge, and your knowledge is passed down, and that's how it works. So if you don't have real world experience, like world class experience, you can't really coach people to that level. So you can't say, I'm going to make this guy a UFC fighter if you've never come to the UFC fight. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to know the waters you're going to have to navigate in before that. And with Joe, it was super easy. Like it was a learning experience, but it was also like he trusted me with whatever I said. So and that's key with when you're cornering someone. If they don't trust you just even a little bit, they're not going to listen to you at the right time. They might listen to you when their shit doesn't work, then they'll listen, and it's too late by then, But Joe is like a robot. Like if I was like, throw the left, before I finish saying left, he's already throwing it out there, So and it's like playing a video game, Like I was outside, I wasn't getting hit, but because we had that relationship, I didn't want him to get hit. So
like that movie Still. Real Steel. Yeah.
So I made sure that he understood how to defend himself and how to be like all the small nuances in fighting, that he trusted me with. We actually applied at the highest level, So there's no, and if that's not a testament to what two guys can do from a small island, if you just did the research and put the effort, how far you could go. Like we're not special. We both came from the same school. All of us came from the same high school. We all went to me and Joe trained at Purebred. Like it wasn't like you don't learn nothing back then. It was just like you learn how to get your ass beat or you learn how to get tough.
Right. That's right.
Because there wasn't a lot of knowledge. Like there wasn't a lot of knowledge out there. So like we used to have to get grappling magazines and try to copy the moves that we saw. There was no internet, there wasn't YouTube. So we had to actually think of it. Yeah, we had to actually think of things and drill them and learn them. And even from the beginning, like when Joe was 17, 18 years old, we still understood that we can't just spar all the time. We gotta fucking figure this shit out, and we gotta drill. And we did that even since we were kids. So even the drilling together has been since 1999, 2000. So drilling together teaches me more about him. I know all his movements. I know what he's good at, what he's not good at, where he needs to be, what he needs to work on. And you have a closer relationship with somebody, that's, it's really easy. It's like training your little brother.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's good.
If y'all are still just joining us again, please subscribe, comment down below, share the video, share the love. Some shout outs again. Mike Bloss is joining us. Says, what's up?
Yo.
How's it, brother?
Frank Guerra's on.
Hey, brother Frank.
And he says
Frank is he's big in MMA too. He's my Mexican friend.
He says Tessa Simpson fights MMA out of Austin.
Yeah.
And is from Guam.
Hey. Cool. See, I told you he knows that. He used to do clothing for a lot of guys who fought down there in Corpus Christi, but he does a lot with that fighting MMA And he lived in Guam back when we lived in Guam. He was stationed there the same time as me, so he has Guam roots.
Hey, Noel says we didn't have YouTube, but we had YouTube on a VHS tape. Bootleg videos.
Yeah, bootleg videos.
Hey, so I know we talked about being in the ring when that cage closes, but how about before? How about the walkout, Joe? Let's talk about your walkout. What is one of your favorite walkouts?
What's the song?
Or what's the song first?
The entrance song.
What's your entrance song, bro?
I always came out to I came out to All the Above by Mano.
Oh
Yeah, and I like the part there where it says, "See me coming from nothing to be living my dreams. I done been to the bottom. I done suffered a lot. I deserve to be rich, headed straight to the top." And that's something.
Oh, nice.
I think that's something that defined not just me, but Vince and I, our bond and our way, making our way. Because I tell you, there's a lot of athletes, there's a lot of people that get hooked up, or they go train with another coach, and that coach gets them in. Like, I can honestly say between the two of us, we're like homegrown. You know what I'm saying? We're truly homegrown to the island. And one of my other best friends, KJ Nunes, like Vince was his coach too, and KJ being a former world champion and trusted Vince as well. So that just speaks to the caliber and the level that Vince brings to the table.
Wow.
Because, let me tell you, like, KJ doesn't work with a lot of people. He doesn't trust a lot of people. And when you become a world champion, everyone wants to be around you. Everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone wants to be your coach.
Yeah.
And he saw what Vince did with me. And the thing was when he started working together with Vince, he saw what I saw. And it's amazing us coaching him and cornering him in Vegas together, because I got to be on the coaching side with Vince and get a corner our boy. So it was, I think those kind of things, and seeing another Islander, a white boy from Kona, right? White complected boy.
Yeah.
This is why KJ is so underrated, because he looks like Tom Cruise. But the dude will whoop your ass. He will whoop your ass.
Yeah.
And he's got that Islander power, and he's got that Islander chin. And he has no quit. He looks like the pretty boy, but he can crack, dude.
That's another Islander legend, KJ Moons, man. One of the best, I think one of the highest IQ strikers I ever met. Like, he's been training since 5, so he knows like exactly what to throw. Doesn't even know why he throws it. It's like instinctual. Like, it just comes from, like, I learned a lot training KJ. Like, you learn a lot from training athletes like that. Like, wow, this guy knows what to do all the time when it comes to striking. Awesome. Like, he's, his dad was a striker, so it's like genetic.
That's awesome.
And let me tell you something. He's as Hawaiian as it gets. I'm going to fight you in the street too.
Yeah.
Hey. But I think I think saying that, like, that's why BJ Penn did what he did. Like, he fought all the way up, all the way down, didn't care. Like, he took any fight.
Fight.
Right.
It's that Islander mindset.
Yep.
The only reason why I bring up entrance songs is because I have one to share. The only one I can actually find.
Was it Duarte? Was it running the streets?
You never come out to Ocho Ocho, right? Joe Duarte.
You guys remember this one?
Look at Vince cracking.
Oh, that was the Mano. That's the song.
Yeah.
That's his favorite song you're playing.
Look at Jeff trying to squeeze in camera time.
And there's Vince. Hey.
Look who he's talking to now.
Walked on memory lane, Pretty good where it came from, though. From videotapes to now that we can see it digitally. Back in the day, we had to wait for the VHS tape.
So what are you thinking there, Joe? What's
I've
going
never
through your
seen
mind
this
right
video
there, bro?
before.
Dude, I've never seen this before either.
I've
Really?
never seen this before. Yeah, this
Dude,
is
the
crazy.
only one I could find, bro.
Yeah, I looked it up and that was the only one.
Okay, then I won't.
I mean,
I was gonna stop it a little bit, but I won't since you guys haven't seen it. Y'all getting sentimental over there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, awesome, dude.
I mean, the reason this was so awesome is like I think Joe is the first tomorrow fighter to have his name on a billboard in Vegas. You know,
Right, exactly, bro.
like he was the main event.
Yeah, Joe.
Hey, you know what's funny? That's why those shorts are there. See the shorts behind me?
Oh, nice, nice. That's awesome, bro. Oh yeah.
Wow.
So were y'all together when you won your first championship, Joe?
No, so Vince would come out and train with me at Unleash. I don't think he was there for that fight, right, Vince? I don't think you were there.
Yeah, I had to go back. Yeah,
Yeah, Vince,
I would just
but he
come
was
out.
coming out.
And,
That's
Come out for helping me for training camp and stuff. And
that's funny you brought that one up because isn't this the your opponent for that fight, the Unleashed one,
yeah.
or Frano Rodriguez?
yes, that's the first guy, right? The belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was
wasn't
your
here for that
championship
one.
fight?
What's that?
That was your first championship fight?
Yes. Yeah.
So explain to us how it, like, the days coming up to it.
Well, I think the interesting part about that was they were doing the WCO, and this guy John Dykeman created the WCO with what's his name, Bruce Bellacci, right? The former guy that fought David Tua for boxing and stuff.
Wow.
Created this event called WCO, and the first one I fought a guy from Tito's team, Randy Bowers, and Randy was the wrestling coach at Ultimate Fitness Center. He was a brown belt. He was the wrestling coach, Division I American wrestler from Tito's gym up in Huntington. So after beating him, they had another event and they wanted to do it in San Diego, downtown the convention center. And John asked me if I wanted to be the main event. And what was cool was they had, initially the card had Vernon Tiger White, it had Wade Shipp and Pat Spade and all the guys right on the card. And it was kind of a cool card because it was like San Diego versus like everybody. And then Vernon's opponent, I guess, pulled out.
Yeah.
And they were basically searching for an opponent for me, and they found this guy out in Nebraska, this wrestler kid who I should have fought Randy Bowers for that belt versus Frano Rodriguez. I think Randy was a way tougher fight for me than Frano was. And I think he was just like, I was in a different level than he was at that time, right? But I think the reason why I appreciated the belt more than anything, it wasn't really, I had to win other fights to get there. And that was the hardest part. Was I came in and I fought a guy that had more fights than me in Total Combat. I fought Randy Bowers, who had more fights than me and was way more experienced than me coming into that fight. And then I fought Frano. And out of all those guys, Frano was the easiest guy that I fought. So, the belt, I think it was a cool thing. It was a fun thing. The event after that they had that were all in the card had Josh Barnett, fucking what's that fucking Brazilian guy's name that fought a lot in Strike Force? He had that guy in there, and a bunch of Babalu. Had Babalu on there, like a bunch of good guys.
Oh wow!
And on the day of the weigh-ins, they basically canceled the fight on the day of the weigh-ins.
Oh wow!
Guys made weight and everything, so that was the end of the WCO. And then basically, I had an opportunity to go to the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, we'll get to that conversation. That's awesome, dude. Speaking of, Noel says this. I think I talking about.
That's right. That's right. No.
That was awesome. How about your first? How did your first win feel?
Honestly, I felt like shit. I felt like I fought a guy named Chris Kennedy who is a pro boxer out of Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 1-0 the time we first fought, and he was a big strong dude. And about 40 seconds in, fucking knees me straight in the balls, like, and it's no fault of his own. It just happened to be.
It just happens, yeah.
Dude, and I'll tell you, I literally, that stomachache feeling you had.
Oh yeah, bro.
No shit, and sorry to the viewers out there. I felt like shitting my pants at that moment. I was like, it was so hard. It was so hard that I was like, I literally felt like my stomach, like just, and ended up fighting all the way to decision. Interesting was Dana White was actually in the crowd that day because he was looking to buy Total Combat. That was actually when they were like, he was kind of looking at organizations to buy. He ended up buying the WC instead. But Total Combat was the show before. That was the WC before it was the feeder show, because a lot of guys that fought Kendall Grove, fucking Wade Ship, like all these guys were like veterans. All the former, guys went to Joey Beltran. All these guys that went to the UFC, they all came from there. So
that went to decision, right? Your first one?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Let's see. Anybody else on? No, nobody's on. What about your first knockout? First one hit.
Getting knocked out or knocking out?
Just knocking. No, you knocking them out. How did that feel to you?
Well, I think growing up on the island, you end up, fighting people a lot. So it kind of feels the same, right? You just crack someone.
He's basically saying I've knocked out a lot of people. So
no, because it's sparring, right? Sparring, you end up dropping dudes too, and you end up knocking people out sparring. And I think it kind of feels the same. It feels obviously better. It's more amplified in a fight. But when you're fighting, you drop someone and you finish them. It's just like, I guess because if you're training hard enough and that happens all the time. I mean, Vince,
I have a little thing to tell everybody. It's just little. Nobody knows this, but Joe gets mad at people that knock. If he drops you, he gets mad at you. Like, what the fuck? Get up! Get up! Tell you to get up. I'm like, bro, you just dropped him. He gets mad at him like he's disappointed. Like,
dang, why'd you get knocked out, bro?
I can go longer.
Hey, we've only been here for 30 seconds.
Either that or he'll laugh at him, like straight and just start laughing. Man, I've never seen that before either.
And I only bring that up because, again, the only knockout video I could find. Let's see.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And this, my favorite thing about this is you can hear. I don't know if that's you, Vince. You can hear someone saying, telling you to throw your left hook.
That was uppercut. That's Morongo from Eastern.
Oh yeah, left. Yeah.
I was there. Yeah. That guy had a lot of fights too.
He had like 30 fights when he fought me.
Yeah, this was fun. Whew, I thought I was gonna laugh.
Mouthpiece came out.
You know the funny thing?
I think the referee wanted him to die or something. Is that
with the Cecil people?
No, it was Gabe. Yeah.
Cecil Peoples ref my last fight, and like, he let me.
Cecil Peoples will. I mean, I think Cecil Peoples will down there let you get murdered until before he stops.
I know when I was seeing that video, I was like, "Are you gonna stop it, bro? The dude's on his knees. He's out."
Yeah, Cecil Peoples.
He stops moving.
Nice. So how did that Do you remember that feeling?
Honestly, you know why that fight? That fight meant a lot to me was because he fought my teammate Pat Spade, and he just wrestled Pat Spade the whole time.
Oh,
And
really?
and Pat fought Mikey Joe, as a matter of fact, back in the day on the island. But Pat was one of the homies, you know, and I wanted to get that redemption. And I think Pat, I don't know if he beat him or whatnot, but I just wanted to finish him. Dom Cruz came out of Total Combat, just like Noe said. But I wanted to finish. I wanted to finish Dave Gardner because one, at that point, he'd never been finished by a KO, and he just fought Shinya Aoki. He's the guy that waved "Hello Japan" and it got choked. Have you ever seen the thing "Hello Japan"?
Just Google it.
Because of that guy fought Shinya Aoki literally like 30 days before he fought me. And he had 30 fights. He was from Team Quest. He was a tough Division I wrestler from Michigan. And the guy's tough, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, his single leg, his ability to like drag people through a single leg and grind on them he's got a lot of experience. So that was cool. And it was nice to be able to finish him that way. And I'll tell you, I was had too much anxiety because Diego had walked out with me to Soldier Boy. He told the DJ to play 25 on.
Yes.
Had me doing yes the whole time. And it was Diego, Ronnie Yaya, Mike Altman, Coach Mike Altman, and
it was funny, dude.
And I think Pat Spade was there too. I think Vince was in Florida at that time. And the funny part was I got in the ring and I was so like crazy that in like 1 minute I felt like, oh man, I'm gonna get adrenaline dump if I don't calm down. And it's because Diego's like screaming from the corner, you know. and
he's a crazy person, bro.
Yeah, dude, he's a nutbag.
That's funny.
Hey Joe, is it true that like you don't hear the crowd when you're in the ring?
Yeah, man. I think, you know, you kind of drown that out. You kind of, like I said, you know, when you step on the canvas, that soft canvas, and you get in there, then the more experience you get, you start to realize that things are going to happen, right? The more you get experience in there, you start to realize, like, I'm going to bleed, right? I'm going to bleed. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be in bad positions. And I try to shut it all down to like so I can hear Vince in the corner and the guys in the sides because dude, sometimes it's too crazy. You can't hear anything.
Yeah. All right, so we got one of our viewers that wants to ask a question. What technique was used for your first submission win? That's coming from Frank Guerra.
Hey, good question, Frank.
Yeah, Frank, what's going on, man? It was a transitional armbar. That was against Bowers, as a matter of fact. You know, I felt like that was the first time I ever like was gonna finish someone with ground and pound.
Yeah.
It was like he kind of gave me the arm, and I, you know, at the time I think I was like a blue belt. And I just fucking got the arm and got the
I remember this from last week. I got it.
The Chamar armbar.
In 1999,
the Chamar armbar, the crowbar.
Yeah.
In 1999, if you were a blue belt or blonde, you're pretty much a black belt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, dude. All right, no, we talked about wins. How about your first loss, my brother?
So my first loss, I think officially on not official on my record was, and this was an eye opener. This was against when I went to Tough. I lost. That was my first time losing. I lost to Nover. And what it was we got there and we're all training together, and I was there with the guy that we used to train with, C4 Diaz, and we're all training.
Don't worry, he's not gonna see this. He's in prison and shit. Don't shout him out. Don't shut him out. He's not gonna see it.
And literally I was like smashing everyone, right? And at this point I hadn't lost yet, so I was like smashing everyone. We were doing, they have us do the whole team do grappling and like smashing everyone, wrestling, taking everybody down, striking, just like fucking everybody up. And then they were like, okay, weigh-ins in 48 hours, right? And I remember getting on the scale. So because, and Gabe Rudiger, if you're watching this, bro, this no pun intended, because Gabe missed weight, they made my season weigh in when you got there to ensure that you can qualify to make weight. And so I basically had to cut, and I was walking around at like, at that time, like 180 maybe, and then get close to the week of the fight, I would be like 170, 172, something around there.
Yeah.
And so I get to Vegas, I land, they make you weigh in. So you have to make it, and you have to weigh in on the weight. So I had to cut weight the night before, literally get on an airplane, not drink shit, fly to Vegas, wait all day while they do all the processing. They pick you up in the van. You get there to the hotel. They're like, okay, wait. So we wait, but you're by yourself in the hotel room, and they make you wait, and you're like fucking sitting there just dehydrated. So then they take you down there. They make you weigh in. Boom, weighed in. I was like, fuck yeah, made weight, right? Hell yeah. I'm going to go back to the hotel and just eat a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Went back to the hotel, started eating a bunch of stuff, ordering a bunch of room service, just mowing. We get there, they bring us to the training center, we start training, and I'm like smashing everyone. I was looking around, I was like, dude, I'm like better than everybody here. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I was like more talented than a lot of guys over there. Yeah. And there was not a lot of people that were giving me hard time, but there was a lot of talented guys. Bader was on that one, right? Because they did the 205 and the 155. And I remember Efren Escudero looked at me and he goes, bro, you're probably going to win the whole fucking show, right? And I was like, that shit got in my head. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm going to win the whole fucking show. Right? And then Philippe Nova, we're standing there, the motherfucker faints, right? I'm like, that dude's a pussy, right? I start talking, right? My mouth comes back and I start saying that dude's a pussy, and just all this stuff happens, right? So anyways, they're like, okay, guys. Dana shows up. He's like, all right, guys. Weigh-ins in 48 hours, fights in 72. So the interesting thing is, at this time, Ed Soares is the one that helped me get in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So there's Frank Mir's team, and then there's Nogueira's team.
Yeah.
Frank Mir picked me to be in his squad, but Nogueira, because he was managed by Ed Soares, was the one helping me with everything. So Nogueira, he had talked to Nogueira, and so me and Rodrigo were the ones that were like hanging out, right? I was hanging out with all his guys all the time, and so he was helping me cut weight. Coach Al Stanley was helping me cut weight. So I went all the way down, and the most difficult part, I think, of the entire weight process was the sauna was broken, so I had to like work the weight off.
Yeah.
Because I made weight and then went back up, I was really heavy trying to get back down so I had to cut weight again and make it later. And it was at first I was like, I'm going to make weight easy because I just weighed in a couple of days ago. So I'm going to make weight again. And it kicked my ass. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh shit, am I going to make weight? Then it came in, I got on the scales like 175, something like that. And he's like, dude, are you even going to make weight in 48 hours? I said, I'll make weight. And literally cut all the weight off. I think there's some video that the Fuck Eye Effect had with me, like on the airline bike, like I'm fucking over here working this shit off, right? so anyways, we get to the weighing time. I make weight. I'm in my head. We wait. Then the next day, they're like, okay, it's fight day. Yeah. Dude, how full of it I was of myself. Okay. I literally, Al Stanky, I think is Coach Stanky was like, hey, you want to warm up? And I said, oh, I don't need a warm up for this guy. I'm gonna be faint again, right? And then
It's
Yeah, Joe.
it just
I don't need no warm up.
yeah. I was like, I don't need to wait. Literally, I just sat around and watched all the rest of the fights happen, and then it was our time. And I literally got my hand wrapped, cold as shit, walked in the ring, and I remember going, okay, cool. It's like a sparring session. This guy comes out and kicks me with like a super heavy high kick. Boom, and I block it. I'm like, holy shit, this fucking dude came to fight. Right? Like, I'm like, this guy came to fight. And he just brought it. And, I dropped him twice, took his back, got mount on him, Kimured him off the cage. Then he finished me on his back. And going into the second round, I was just like gassed because I had adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
Like he sensed
all
it.
that weight.
The second round, I was able to drop him again, and I got on top of him, and then I was so like exhausted.
Yeah.
He just, like reversed me, and then I tried to escape, and then he took my back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna scoot to the fence," and then boom, he just fucking sunk the choke in. And it was the first time I was like, that was fucking humble pie, bro. That was karma. Thinking your shit doesn't. Right? And I think that was a learning experience for me, and I was like, I had to do that because I realized no matter how talented you are, if they work harder, they're gonna. And that was the difference. I experienced it the first time. At that time, the guy was a brown belt, from Half Gracie Henzo, I think Henzo, New York.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this guy's like I'm gonna beat this guy up, right? And dude, guy's way tougher, way tougher.
Did he win the show though?
Yeah, he won the show. He smashed everyone, bro. That's the guy that was like, yeah, that guy was.
You beat his ass the whole time.
But then, dude, he smoked everybody after that, and I realized at that moment I was like, if I would have worked hard, that would have been me, man. If I would have worked hard, I would have won.
Funny thing,
or if you just warmed up, or you just had to warm up.
He still remembers you though. I met him in the Philippines at the UFC, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Joe's coach." He's like, "Joe Duarte?" He still remembers you, bro. He probably punched me really hard.
He remembers that punch.
Yeah.
Well, let's share that video Joe was talking about. The only video I can find with the damn.
Oh yeah, the UFC, bro. They have any rights. They take that shit right off.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. The one you're talking about, right, Joe?
Yeah. Of me dying.
I like the cut though, bro.
Yo, what's up? Off the day, live and direct.
Oh hell no, not this video.
You ready for this video, Vince?
No hell no.
What did you say in the beginning of the show? When I saw it, I was like, that's it.
Arthur Humphreys, Morongo, there's so many good guys, and Beach there. Again.
Oh
No, there's two of you in there, Vince.
So I didn't even know I had that many back then.
Is that your ding up, bro?
Yeah, oh my god. I used to get tired all the time. That's how bad it was. That's so old.
Off today, Guam, everybody.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that's a Solos gym.
awesome.
It's
Bro.
next door from that place right now.
No, I'm right next to that.
So that was after the show, right?
Yeah.
I know you were.
I realize I gotta work hard.
Yeah, I saw it.
I gotta work hard because these fools wanted more.
Yeah. We'll talk about the feeling when you actually strapped up UFC gloves.
I think there comes a time where, and I think that was part of it, right? It's like I remember sitting there, I put them on, and I thought to myself, dude, I cannot even believe this is real right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, part of me was also like, this is just a culmination of like self-belief and like, you know, talent, right? And
Yeah.
I thought at the time I was working hard, and apparently like I wasn't working hard enough. And though I was talented, I wasn't mature mentally to kind of understand that you never overlook somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, if they wanted more than you on that particular day, that's I mean, Vince remembers. Like I remember after my Bellator, I took a Bellator fight on 4-day notice, and I remember this whole thing happened with my agent, with Roger Huerta and stuff, and I remember he brought Roger down to the gym, dude, and I just beat the shit out of Roger Huerta. Like I literally made him quit in the second round in sparring. I beat him up so bad, man. He quit. He literally took his gloves off in the middle round and said, "I'm done sparring." And took his gloves off. And it's because that fire was there, right? Because there was something to prove that like you don't fucking come and take my spot on the Bellator tournament and then I get fucking seconds, right? And I just felt this kind of animosity.
Yeah.
And I think that with fighting, that's you know, you see these guys that sometimes they're charged and they're dangerous. Like that guy Philippe Milberg, he literally fainted. And like in the interview, I was like, I'm gonna make him faint again, right? Like right? And that dude was like, no, motherfucker, like I ain't gonna faint, right? And so it's one of those things where it's fight game, man. Sometimes if on that particular day and that night that person wants it more, you better come ready because you know.
Wow. How about for you, Vince? I mean, going back again, you know that it's your brother. How did it feel to know that he actually had a chance to, you know, he strapped up the UFC gloves, had a chance to get in the house? Well, how was that feeling? Like all that work was, you know, paying off.
I mean, you know, like I said in the beginning, I already knew he was going to be able to do that. You know, like it wasn't a surprise to me. Like I already knew he just had to get in front of the right people, and they got to see what he has, and then maybe they might want to develop that because there's more other things. Like there's other things to a fighter that make him like you could be a regular fighter or you could be somebody who is like Conor McGregor, like. You know, like he had that potential even back then. Like not only the skills, but he was a star. I mean, he could have been a star if the times were different. You know, but back then it wasn't as much. There wasn't as much social media and all that stuff. So, you know, like watching him fight and seeing him get to that level, I already knew he could get to that level. And because I knew he could get to that level, he trusted that. And he fought to that. He fought to that level because he knew that that's the level that he was at that point. Because I was there in the beginning when he first was starting out and fighting. We still talk all the time, but he brought me out when he started to get to the bigger fights. You know, like the fights that were after the Ultimate Fighter, Bellator, all that other stuff. So, but I knew if you came into the tough with what he really could do potentially without having all the weight cut and all that other stuff, like he could have won the whole show. I mean, the guy that he beat up for 2 rounds won the whole show.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a testament to like if he came in there ready, if he came in there with the right weight and the time and the stars aligned and it was a timing thing, he won the whole thing in a different story, right? They've been the first Chamorro guy that won Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody, you know, and that's really what would have been the story if he was on his game. You know what I mean? Like he went in there like half of what he really could do and still fought the best guy in the whole show and almost beat that guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I
the
mean,
UFC, like
to
the
answer
show.
your question, I already knew.
What's that?
So you were
To
on the
answer your
show,
question,
Joe?
I already knew.
Oh no. Yes, no. So he was on the Ultimate Fighter, the show. Like they have a show
Like the farm.
that
Like,
gives
it's
you
Yeah.
like the farm.
Well, it's like baseball, right? It's like the
It was.
Well, it's
they
kinda
just
like-
started off like the Ultimate Fighter, where like they just got some good fighters and
Yeah,
It's
and
like-
it's like a reality, almost like a reality show.
yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
actually they have two like
teams.
at the
Yeah, two
time
teams, yeah.
they'll use like the two like
Two fighters who are
the
gonna
two
be
fighters that
fighting.
are like
They're gonna fight in the headlining at the end of the
of
season.
the UFC. Yeah,
Oh,
whoever is-
okay. That's what you meant by the house.
Yeah, the house.
Oh, I was like,
there you go.
damn,
For
they're
those who didn't know,
Yeah,
But like this
we had
was
a couple guys from Guam, right?
yeah,
Wasn't Frank Camacho in one of the houses, and
John Tuck,
John Tugg, Anthony
oh
Torres.
yeah,
Anthony Torres,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
yeah. What about your Bellator days, bro? How was that?
Bellator days, I mean, dude, I literally, the first call I got was actually, that was part of it, was I was originally on the tournament, and then they called me and they said, oh, you're not in the tournament anymore.
Yeah,
So I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll probably be on the next one. I went with KJ to Japan, stopped training for a while, took a break, and then they called me 3 days before the weigh-ins when I got back, and basically I had to cut all this weight to fight in Bellator. That was like the first call that I had, and that's why after that fight, when Roger came down, because he made it to the second round, I beat his ass in the gym because I was pissed off because I found out that they had took my spot that I initially had and put him in there.
yeah.
And then they put me as an alternate. So when he came to the gym and train, I was like, fucking motherfucker, I know what happened. Like, you up, dude.
Oh man, that's funny. So Frank has another question for you.
Let's get it,
He
Frank.
says, if you had a chance to fight your favorite MMA legend, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Honestly, I think one of the guys that I really looked up to and that I will love to fight is I think stylistically, I think maybe BJ.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, because I think one thing I know with BJ, I just gotta make it into the second round, right? Like,
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. I think that'd be a good fight though.
Right?
and I think BJ,
It would be fun.
yeah,
it'd be
he's so
fun.
talented, right? He's so talented, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, just
What about Vince? What about you, Vince?
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
this Vince or the Vince in the video?
The 14-year-old Vince. The 14-year-old
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah, no, I mean, me, it would probably be more because I grew up watching boxing. So I'd probably be more wanting to fight somebody that I grew up watching boxing.
Augustus, bro.
Yeah, somebody like that, you know.
All right.
You know.
What about JC? Who would you want to fight, JC?
Mace? He'd fight Mace.
Mace. I was like, I'm the real Mace.
Nobody brought that up. I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. Did they know that they used to call you Mace?
So some of my not really my friends here in Texas. When I was in Washington, a lot of them knew.
Yeah.
Dude, that was my first like email address was Mace JC because that's how everybody knew me, bro.
Nice.
That's where that comes from. But shout out to Rick because Rick was the first one to ever say it,
Yeah.
and then that carried into high school, and then these guys called me it. It was so funny.
Yeah, that was all through high school. The Jamal
Right.
Mace.
The Jamal Mace.
John was always fresh with his cargo shorts. He always had cargo
straps.
shorts and running shoes. Always
Running
clean.
shoes,
Like,
no shoe socks.
Wow.
Yep.
When they first came out, right? Wearing the
I remember that.
wearing the like the Guterres shirts for the
Oh,
when
yeah,
he was running.
the election shirts.
The election shirts. Oh no, why are you gonna bring up old stuff, Noah? The Hawaiian
What do you
shirts.
say?
Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, yeah,
That's everybody right there.
Right. So how about these days, Joe? how's life these days, bro? What do you got going on for yourself?
Just business, man. I'm a businessman, and
Awesome.
yeah, just I'm a partner in a nationwide healthcare company, and
Oh wow.
it's been seeing the company just grow within this last year or within the last 2 years has been tremendous. You know, I think that I never thought, ever thought I run a company of this size and more or less even work for a company like this. It's completely different worlds.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a testament to going back to what I said about the Georgelle fight, right? Like you just never know what you're capable of until you actually go there and like push yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that really for me kind of fires me up every day is to know that I can make an impact on a national level. Just, you know, we see hundreds of thousands of patients, and just kind of spearheading the company and being part of this really innovative place, because we're one of the largest telemedicine companies in the US. And
Yeah.
the interesting thing is that we have an array of different patients, and growing up, it's interesting because I grew up without healthcare, right? So I didn't have insurance. And so being able to kind of help people and lower that barrier to entry so that people have access to healthcare is kind of a cool thing. The money's nice, right? In this industry, like healthcare and technology, we're both a healthcare and a technology company.
Yeah.
So it's fast moving, and it always kind of keeps you on your toes. So it's a lot like fighting, where business is a lot like fighting. It's very much like it's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
You really have to create value and be on your toes all the time, because there's companies out there that are coming in from Silicon Valley that have hundreds of millions of dollars that are just dropped in their lap by VCs. And so we're always competing and seeing these guys come in and out, and go out of business and stuff like that. So it's been tremendous seeing our companies grow like this. So our company is structured as such, where we have an overarching company that owns all the other companies, the subsidiaries underneath.
Yeah.
And so by nature, we're able to oversee all these other businesses and things like that. So it's been kind of cool doing that. And once in a while, it's nice to kind of look back and see that fighting was really the catalyst that kind of gave me the mental fortitude to kind of do this, right? And actually do this daily, because to be able to go from one to the other, it's very much the same in a sense. The mindset of a CEO of a company is very much like the mindset of a fighter, wanting to be the best, wanting to be ahead of the game and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Awesome.
I was gonna say this, but I was gonna say go ahead and blast your company out there, but my auntie beat me to it. She wants to know what kind of health company is it, supplements, and then she said, what's the name of the business? So go ahead and advertise your company, brother.
So we have Prescribery, which is basically what we do is we take pharmaceutical manufacturers, pharma direct to consumers. And what does is, and I never knew this before I was in healthcare, when you have a drug manufacturer and then the patient at the end, right? Take insulin, for example. The reason why it's so expensive by the time it gets to the patient is because in between the patient and the drug manufacturers, there's all these intermediaries in between that don't really add value. They just add cost. If you're diabetic and you need insulin, it costs you an arm and a leg. Yeah. And so because all these people in between, they add costs. So essentially we shrink that gap and we allow the patient to have direct access to what they need, and then hopefully lower their costs in any way possible. So this allows a less cumbersome experience for the patient. So patients come in, that's exactly it. Cut out the middleman, right? And whenever you can go direct to a patient, it makes it easier and faster. So if you go to a doctor, normally they give you a referral, and then you go see a specialist, and that specialist orders your labs and your blood work, right? Or your lab and your medication, right, from when your comes in. So it's a long process. So we shrink that gap, and then it makes a more efficient process.
Wow.
That's awesome. I think my mother-in-law does something like that because she has medication that's shipped directly to our house. She doesn't have to go to a pharmacist.
That's it. Yeah.
She gets medication through the mail. So I think that's
so
something like it, right?
our physicians will call it into whatever pharmacies they need.
Yeah.
Or send it directly with our technology, and they send it directly. So it basically makes
that's awesome.
Take time off work or whatever, right? So
yeah. Well, that's awesome that you brought up. I mean, it's crazy that you brought up being diabetic. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic. Shout out to Joselle, my daughter. She's doing awesome. She's fighting it.
So she probably uses Dexcom, right? Dexcom.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. What is it? CGB. Like to monitor, right? Blood glucose monitoring. So yeah, it's exactly it, right? And when you go through that whole process, sometimes it's a long process, and with diabetes, you have to be able to shorten that gap. Otherwise, things happen. People go blind, or they can die. So it's cutting out a lot of the fluff that healthcare makes you, all the hoops they make you jump through, and just get directly to the solution.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I send you my resume, Joe?
No, you know how it works, bro. Islanders, we're just hooking each other up.
Send you my resume, bro. I can pack some medication.
Well, who's your dad first? Your dad has to be well known in order for me to. What about you, Vince? Go ahead and put a shout out for anyone that's looking to train in your area in San Diego, or maybe just someone might just come out to San Diego just to train with someone like yourself. Go ahead and.
That's what I do. I've been in the business of fighting since I was 16 years old. So.
Yeah.
I'm 16 now, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing. I don't know how to do any other kind of job. Not because I don't want to. This is just this is what I do. When it comes to that, I mean, fighting is something that it's a sport now, and people are looking for better trainers and better places to train, and that's kind of what I do now. Is like, if you want to fight and you want to do a camp and you want to do training in the way that we do it, we have a spot. We have places to bring people, and that's kind of all I've been doing. The last 20 years, just training guys, fight at the biggest shows.
So how can they contact you if they're interested?
Oh, come to the arena MMA.com. I mean, I've been here since Joe brought me here. Joe named this gym. Joe named this gym the Arena. He's part of the first guys. This gym's been around for about 12 years now, and I've been here 11. 10 or 11 years, and we have a lot of fighters. I coached Cyborg out of here, KJ, Joe. There's a lot of high level fighters that came out of here. We got a lot of new guys that are at a high level, and I'm training them the same way I train Joe. So it's.
I always tell these guys, man, guys, I just want to chime in here, like how lucky they are to have the facility and have world class tutelage like Vince. Like, that's something that I was trying to get for so many years. And if you guys are in San Diego, like, definitely world class training there for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially with all the guys from Guam. I trained John Tuck, Baby Jojo, all the best guys that came out of Guam. I'll always train the guys from Guam because that's the reason why I left Guam. So I can get the knowledge that I can get out here to train the guys from there to be able to fight at the world stage. So I've always trained the guys from Guam, and I'll always do that, and that's always going to be my thing. Like, that's the reason I left, because the knowledge wasn't there yet, and I had to come out here to learn all the stuff that I needed to learn in MMA to be able to go back to teach those guys how we can make it in this sport.
Right
Yeah,
on, Vince.
that's awesome, bro.
Yeah. So Vince, as a premier trainer, when you look at JC and B, who do you think would win in a fight between these two?
So first of all, I know I do my research, but I know John used to be a wrestling teammate of Joe's.
Oh,
So John's got that double leg,
Got
and
the
not
edge.
even took me down. So if
Sorry, B.
he don't got my jiu-jitsu.
That's
Okay.
What's that?
Little known fact though, John was one of the best running backs we ever had, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
No.
Why you gotta make me cry, bro?
Yeah.
Bomb Eagles, bro.
Yeah, Guami, he's a legend.
Hey, but Joe was
Yeah,
right
man.
behind me, right? To keep that championship
Yeah.
going.
Dude. But that's
Hey, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked John just so that I know you're right.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. But that was SESH number 23. If you guys just joined us, please comment, subscribe, like the video, share the love. Again, we're here with Joe Hybrid Duarte and one of the best MMA trainers, Coach Vince Salvador, my brothers from back home on Guam. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening.
Thank you guys so much.
We love you guys. Chålofa, one love and God
Chålofa.
bless. Hey, it's good catching up with you guys, man.
Appreciate you guys for being on.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Vince.
Thanks,
One
Joe.
love and God bless,
Thanks.
boys.
No worries, guys.
Hey, where do you think you're going? You haven't left our minds yet. Again, thanks for watching and listening. And like we say on the islands, the first time you're a guest in our home, and after that, you're family. So welcome to the family. One love and God bless. Peace.